bring in Kaushik Deka, deputy editor with India Today magazine, for a reaction on this. Kaushik, the damage control has already begun from the Trinamool side at this point of time. How do you see this playing out, Kaushik? Because, Prashant Kishor is known to be close to Mamta. What is the dynamic there? What has gone wrong? Because, as you said, this is a man who doesn't usually interact with journalists. He's a man of few words, reclusive as far as the media is concerned. Why did this even happen?
He does interact, but always off the record. But in this case, as you have seen in the last 2-3 months, he has given several interviews to television, to print media. So that means he's also trying to create a narrative. And as in the audio you have heard, that he was talking about the swing votes, that people who would vote because they would think that BJP would win. So definitely, as I have understood this development, is that somewhere the feeling had crept into that BJP has been able to create a positive narrative for themselves. And that's why Prashant Kishor is trying to reach out to media. And he is trying to create a narrative that, yes, despite all this, despite this positive narrative and all that, that he was explaining that, okay, these SC votes will go to BJP, polarization has happened, Modi has a culture following. But yet, I will be able to make Trinamool Congress win. And he is trying to create that narrative. And somewhere I believe that he is also trying to send across a message to TMC workers. He was trying that, okay, this narrative is going on, but have faith in me. I will help you all win. But in doing so, he actually unintentionally that whole thing got sabotaged because BJP created this narrative again, obviously taking parts of the whole conversation and gave it a completely different twist. In one word, his whole plan backfired.
Whole plan backfired, Tausif. Would you like to respond to that? I mean, ultimately, this is a mess now on the Trinamool's hands. As Kaushik said, and he was basically repeating what you also said, which is that this was some plain speak from Prashant Kishor. He was basically saying these are the realities, but the Trinamool will still win. But the nature of the game, the nature of the fight in Bengal is such that even these selective things being leaked in this manner can be quite damaging.
No, you see, I don't know how Prashant Kishor engages with media, whether he has any plans or he needs to set, narrative, because Trinamool is holding press conference every other day in the Trinamool Bhavan. And senior leaders are engaging with media.
Okay.
More number of people from Trinamool are engaging with media. So I don't really understand if there was any plan. What we do see is the tweet of his from long ago, from about more than a month ago, that he had tweeted that BJP will not cross 100 seats, and if it does, then he will quit the space. That tweet is also tagged, and also he has recently tweeted about an hour ago that I stand by my older tweet. BJP will not cross the.
He's actually said that again. He's actually said that again and said that I repeat that the BJP will not cross 100 seats no matter what these audio, selective audio leaks suggest. I want to get in a word. Tausif, stay with me. Gaurav Bhatia, spokesperson of the BJP, is with me. Gaurav, your reaction to this entire audio gate controversy and Prashant Kishor putting on a brave face now, saying this is all doctored, this is selective, it has given people the wrong impression. BJP will not cross 100 seats, says Prashant Kishor. Gaurav.
Shiv, I think this audio tape reveals a lot. It reveals that whatever the public posturing might be by Mamta Banerjee or Prashant Kishor, but within their hearts, they are also aware that BJP is going to form the government in West Bengal. And that is why this tape takes a lot of significance. When closest strategist of Mamta Banerjee also in private is sharing the details that BJP is doing very well. It is getting the votes of Matua Samaj, also the Hindus and others. It is clear that all along when the BJP said that we are leading from the front and Bengal wants change, that position of the BJP within closed doors has been accepted by Prashant Kishor. And I think this is the biggest revelation of the audio tape. Second, Prashant Kishor so far has not denied that this voice is not his, best to my knowledge. You can correct me if I'm wrong. So thus, yet again, it shows the nexus of the Lutyens media with Prashant Kishor, and these people are aware that they are going to lose the election.
Gaurav Bhatia, thanks for speaking to us. Shubirda, a word in from you now. You know, the hours are rolling by in this. One has to be reminded that polling is going on in Bengal right now. But obviously the top leaders, the one thing we can be fairly certain of is that the top leadership of the Trinamool must all be figuring out how to contain the fallout of this audio.
Yeah, this was unnecessary. As I told you before, Prashant Kishor, unless he has other intentions, should have been holding his fire. Why should he discuss at such great length? Now, here you see, let me tell you something. If Prashant Kishor says 75% of the Matuas are with BJP, and he says that without any ambivalence, remaining 25%, at least 10 to 15% of them, the herd mentality, they would like to go with the remaining 75. That's the kind of impact that I'm talking about, because I've covered Bengal elections and many others in my region for a long, long time, much longer than the cephalologists have been in business. And therefore, let me tell you, this is how the herd mentality works, and especially in Bengal, especially the undecided voters, who want to be politically correct, who don't want to end up on the losing side. So if Prashant Kishor says 75%, because he's not just close to Didi, he's also in the Trinamool, leadership structure at the moment, and he is, of course, a cephalologist and a pundit. So if he says 75% Matuas are going to vote, the real result will be 85 to 90, because 10 to 15% of the rest are going to say, this is not perhaps Didi time. This is Modi time. So let's, be on the right side of the fence. And to be on the right side of the fence is a very important thing in Bengal, because for all those who are not politically committed, they don't want some stick to be falling on their head. You know what I mean? So this is number one. Number two, by speaking in such great detail, and Kaushik is right, he never did this before. Am I to believe that Prashant Kishor is getting less and less professional and more political? By getting inducted into the Trinamool political structure, he needs to speak like a leader. He needs to say this, that, provide details. Why? Because in the crowd, Gaurav is right, there are some Trinamool people, definitely, but there are also some BJP people who have actually taken this tape and passed it on, and this has gone up to my good friend Amit Malviya, right up there in the IT, and he knows his job well. So, this whole thing has come out on a day when it might not be the arrow that kills, but it must be the arrow that has hit you on the leg or something and has jeopardized your ability to walk on an important day, if not killed you. So this is something that you could have, you should have been sparing this. Your own Trinamool leaders.
Certainly something the Trinamool would not have wanted to, handle on a day like this, especially when you've got 4 more phases even after today. It's just an unnecessary and expensive diversion.
That is my point.
Ultimately, there are 4 phases left, not including today, 5 phases left. But there is no playing down this story. Both sides are going to be holding press conferences today. Both sides are going to be one side is going to be looking to amplify it. One side is going to be looking to contain the fallout. But there is no doubt that this cannot be swept under the carpet. It becomes the big story of the day. Shubirda, Kaushik and Tausif, appreciate you gentlemen joining me on this quick discussion here. Thank you very much for giving me your time. I'm taking a very quick break. State of Bengal getting hotter by the minute. There has been an attack on a BJP MP in Hooghly as well. Those exclusive pictures coming to you on the other side of this break. Stay with India Today's coverage. Nobody can match what we're doing in Bengal.